Today's if you Nazir Daf Mem Ches, Nazir 48. We're going to start on Mem Zayin on the base on 47b, 8 lines from the bottom. The Gemara has been discussing who is considered to be holier, the Nazir or the Kohen Gadol. And Ad Kan Lo Pligi, where is there an argument only by a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir? Only when it's a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir, Kika Azli Ba'adadi, when they're walking together. Aval, however, Chad Chude, but if they're each walking by themselves and they come across a dead body that's unattended, Bar Itmuye Inun. So they both have to become Tameh for this dead body, for this unattended dead body. If they're walking by themselves and there's a Mace Mitzvah, they have to become Tameh for it. So the Gemara asks the question, Mili, what's the source of this idea? That if there's an unattended dead body, they have to become Tameh for it. So the Gemara says, it's based upon the verse, the Tana Rabbanan, the Gemara says, the verse says, Al kol nafshos meis lo yavo. It says about the Kohen Gadol is not allowed to come in contact with anybody who's dead. What's the verse referring to? If you want to say the verse is referring to people who are not close relatives, well, that's obvious. Just a regular Kohen, he can become Tameh for his 7 closest relatives, his father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, and spouse, just like the regular Kohen can become Tameh for the closest relatives. And he can't become Tameh for non-relatives. Kohen Gadol, the high priest, who can become Tameh for the closest relatives, for sure. The Kohen Gadol cannot become Tameh for the closest relatives. For sure, he can't become Tameh for the non-relatives. So what's the verse referring to? So the verse is telling us, it's going to teach us that the Kohen Gadol cannot become Tameh for his relatives, but we already know that. So what's it mean? So what's it trying to tell us? He cannot become Tameh for his father, but the Kohen Gadol can become Tameh for a mace mitzvah, for an unattended dead body. The Gemara says U'imo, and what is the word? It says U'imo. So we know why the father is written to tell us that it can become Tameh for a mace mitzvah. But U'imo, what's the reason why U'imo is written? The Gemara says Gzeira Shava, to teach us the following principle from Gzeira Shava. Rabbi, like Rabbi taught. The Tanya Rabbi Omer. It says Rabbi taught in the Brisa. It says Gabe Nazir. It says by a Nazirite Bimosam. It says by Nazirite, the word b'mosam. It says akol nafsheus. It says laviv l'moachiv v'achosol yitemalahem b'mosam. The Nazirite is not allowed to come tameh for his father and his mother when they die. B'mosam eino mitameh. Not allowed to become tameh for them when they die. He's allowed to become tameh for their tzaras and their zav. Ve'ein li'ela b'nazir. I only know that a Nazir is allowed to become Tameh for these types of Tumah, for Tzaras and the Zav. The Kohen Gadol Minayin. How do we know that a Kohen Gadol is able to become Tameh for a person's Zav and his Tzaras? The Kohen Gadol Minayin. So the Gemara says, Amris, I will tell it to you. It says, Lo Yomer Imo B'Kohen Gadol, because it doesn't need to tell us. The word is mother by his Kohen Gadol, Shein Tam Omer, because we could have already derived it. We could have derived it from a principle. What would be the principle? Just like a regular Kohen can become Tameh for his paternal brother. The Kohen Gadol cannot become Tameh for his father. A case where a Kohen, regular Kohen, cannot become Tameh for his maternal brother. For sure, Kohen Gadol cannot become Tameh for his own mother. So therefore, we can derive it already from a Kavachomer. So therefore, the Gemara seems
why are they comparing siblings to parents?
No, it's just saying that a paternal brother, the law of paternal brother, is stricter than maternal brother. So therefore, if Kohen Gadol cannot become Tameh for his father, for sure he can become Tameh for his mother. So the Gemara says, well, in Zachita Mehadin, if you could derive this from a from a Kavachomer, Matam or Imo Bekoin Gadol. So why does it need to tell us the word that he's now allowed to become Tameh for his mother by Kohen Gadol? We could have derived it from a Kavachomer. So the Gemara says, it's to tell us the following. Why does it say his mother by Kohen Gadol? To tell us, just like the word Imo, which is written by a Nazir, is to tell us that in his mother's death he cannot become Tameh, but he can become Tameh for Tsaras and her Ziva. So too, Af Imo Amor B'Kohen Gadol. So too, the mother that is said by the Kohen Gadol, he cannot become Tameh for her death, but he can become Tameh for Tsaras and her Zav. So the Gemara says, Ashkechan Kohen Gadol. So we know the halacha that the Kohen Gadol can become Tameh for Meis Mitzvah. But how do we know that a Nazir can become Tameh for Meis Mitzvah? A Nazir, we know, and I don't know, a Nazir can become Tameh for an unaccompanied dead body. So the Gemara says, the Tanya, we learn out from the Brisa, that Kol Yomei Ziro Hashem, all the days of his zeros to Hashem, on Nefesh Meis Lo Yavo. All the days of his Naziros to Hashem, he's not allowed to come in contact with a dead body. So, Shomeani, if it hadn't written the word mace, it could have just said on Nefesh Lo Yavo. Shomeani, afilu Nefesh Behema B'mashma. If it had not said on Nefesh Meis Lo Yavo, I might have said he can't even touch a dead animal. Kinyan Shenemar, like it states, Malken Nefesh Behema, an animal is called a Nefesh. Tamomer al Nefesh Meis Lo Yavo says he cannot come in contact with the soul of a dead body to teach us B'Nefesh Adam HaKos V'Daber. That is telling us he can't even come in contact with the soul of a human being. Rabbi Shmuel Omer Eino Tzarech. Rabbi Shmuel says we don't need the fact that it says Nefesh Meis to teach us that he can't come in contact with an animal who's dead. It says in the verse Al Nefesh Meis Lo Yavo. It says in the verse that that Nefesh Meis Lo Yavo, which the soul of the dead, he will not come. But that's referring to Benefashos and Metamos B'Bia Akos. These refers to those types of people who transmit Tumah through coming into the tent, coming into the Ohel. The Nefshos Meis, those are the Bia Akos Medaber. So I mean, say Tumas Ohel, which is only a human. And then the next part of the Brisa says, it says, by a Nazir cannot become Tameh for his father and his mother, of a Matame who will Meis Mitzvah. But he can become Tameh for a Meis Mitzvah. So that's how we learn it out from the pasuk by the Nazir. That's what the Brisa says. So therefore, the Brisa now asks the question: why can we not learn out from a Kavachomer? Why do we have to learn out from the pasuk? So the Gemara says, "Achlo Yomar Yesh B'Din." Why do we need to have a pasuk? He could have just said it from a Kavachomer. Ma Kohen Gadol shekedusha so kedusha so mitamil meis mitzvah. Just like a Kohen Gadol whose kedusha is forever, just like he could become in contact with a dead body. Just like a Kohen Gadol whose kedusha is kedusha so he could become tamei for a dead body. Nazir shen kedusha so einu din shemetamil meis mitzvah. So it says, why do we need a pasuk to tell us? We can learn from a Kavachomer, just like a Kohen Gadol whose kedusha is forever, and yet he can become tamei for an unattended dead body. Nazir shein kedusha so, and the Nazir's kedusha is not forever. So einu din shemetamil meis mitzvah, for sure it should be able to come in contact with a dead body that unattended. And the Gemara says, no. Well, imamar to Kohen Gadol sheinu maybe carbon al tumaso. You can't say it. Can't do the Kavachomer because the Kohen Gadol may not be as great because when he finishes if he became Tameh, he doesn't bring a carbon. Tomar ben Nazir should maybe carbonar Tomaso. And so therefore, since the Nazir comes to me, he has to bring the carbon Tuma. Oh, maybe carbon al Tomaso, he Tameh Meis Mitzvah. Since he has to bring the carbon, if he became Tameh, might have said he should not become Tameh for Meis Mitzvah. Therefore, therefore we need a pasuk. He's not allowed to become tummy for his father and his mother He's not allowed to become tamei for his father and his mother, but he is allowed to become tamei for meis mitzvah. Gemara says, but maybe. The Gemara asks the question. The Brisa continues, maybe from the extra father and mother we learned something else. Maybe the Brisa, it says for his father, and the verse says about the Nazir, his father, his mother, he cannot become tamei. Maybe maybe it's just the opposite. Maybe he can't become tamei for his father and mother. There is going to have more pain, more tsar, but he can become tamei for maybe strangers. Or like just close friends. Maybe that's what it's saying. For other two people, he can become tamei. Amr is kavachomer. No, we say a kavachomer. Ma kohen hedjo. Just like a regular kohen, shemet tamei lekrovin, he can become tamei for relatives. Eno metamei l'sharmeisim, not for others. Nazir she'eno metamei lekrovin. Nazir cannot even become tamei for relatives. Eno den shlo yitamei l'sharmeisim. For sure, he can't become tamei for other relatives. And so therefore, so if that's the case, so why does it say about a Nazir? Why does the verse say for his father and his mother cannot become tamei? It's to tell us who do tamei who makes mitzvah. It's to tell us that the Nazir cannot become tamei for his father and his mother, but he can become tamei for the unattended dead body. So the Gemara says, Ad shelo yomar. So the Gemara asks the question, well, if that's the case, Ad shelo yomar, yesh li b'din. So we can say, even if the verse would not have written that you can become tamei, you know how to become tamei, your father or mother, we would have still learned this idea that the Nazir has to become tamei for meis mitzvah, yesh li b'din. I would have learned it out through an argument. Nemru kulalos becoming gadol. We have general prohibition by a high priest because it says Hakol nafshos meis lo yavo by a high priest. He cannot come in contact with any dead body. But nemru kulalos b'nazir, and also by a Nazir we have a general prohibition that you cannot come in contact with dead body. I mean to say both by the high priest and also by the Nazir. The Torah tells us that you're prohibited to become tamei for any dead body. And we say makos amuris becoming gadol, just like this general prohibition by a kohen gadol is va'aviv u'imo eino mitameh v'mitameh meis mitzvah. Just like by a high priest, you're allowed to become tamei for meis mitzvah, but not for your father and mother. Of course, amuris b'nazir va'aviv u'imo eino mitameh v'mitameh meis mitzvah. So too by a nazir. For your father and mother, you can't become tamei, but can become tamei for meis mitzvah. Oh, so maybe it's the opposite. Nemru kolos b'kohen hedjov and nemru kolos b'nazir. Maybe there's general prohibition by a regular kohen. It says a nefesh lo yitamar b'yamav. He's not allowed to become tamei. And by a nazir, it's a general prohibition. Nemru kolos b'nazir. Kol nefesh meis lo yavo. Val nefesh meis lo yavo. So we say. Maybe just like by your own father, you can become tamei for regular kohen, but not for. But so too by Nazir, you might be able to become tamei for your father. So therefore, the verse tells us for his father and his mother cannot become tamei by a Nazir. But he can become tamei from meis mitzvah. So the conclusion of the Brisa is that whether we learn Nazir from a comparison to a kohen gadol, or whether we learn from a kohen hedjot, we learn from this phrase for his father and his mother he cannot become tamei to tell us that he can become tamei from meis mitzvah. So the Gemara challenges this idea. The Gemara says, but we need this. What do you mean? How can we learn meis mitzvah from the word aviv? We needed to tell us that she'ein mitamei aviv. We needed to tell us straight out that the Nazir cannot become tamei for his father. How can we say we're using it to tell us that he's allowed to become tamei for meis mitzvah? We just the opposite. We needed to tell us straight out that he cannot become tamei for his father. El aviv lomar she'ein mitamei aviv. La'achiv she'eino mitamei. So he says the word of is to tell us that the Nazir is not allowed to become tamei for his father or other relatives. And so therefore, why do we need it to say for his mother, his brother, and his sister? Is to tell us to his brother is not mitamei, or meis mitzvah mitamei. Is to tell us his brother is not allowed to become tamei, but he can become tamei for a meis mitzvah. So according to this, the Gemara is not deriving that a Nazir can become tamei for meis mitzvah from the word la'achiv, but it's deriving it from the word la'achiv. So the Gemara says, and the word imo, his mother, is like Rebbe taught earlier, that's tell us that Kohen Gadol cannot, and the Nazir cannot become tamei from the father or the mother from a dead body, but he can become tamei from taras and from their ziva. So what do we learn out from the fact that it says in the verse, for his father, his mother, his brother, and his sister? What does that teach us? Look at the Tanya. The Tanya we learned. So why does it say by Nazir if he's not going to become tamei for a sister? What's it coming to teach us? The following powerful idea. Let's say somebody's coming to slaughter his korban pesach, and he's coming to circumcise his son. Now, this price is not referring to the Kohen Gadol or Nazir. This is referring to a regular Jew who's going to slaughter his Pesach or to circumcise his son, his Shama Shemeis Meis. And he heard that one of his relatives has died. Yachol Yitame. He might think, okay, I have to go take care of my relative, and then I won't be able to bring the Korban Pesach. And also, I won't have enough time to circumcise my son on the 8th day. Amarta lo Yitame. We say, you might have said he's not going to become tamei for. We say, no, lo yitamei. Don't become tamei for your relative. Go and slaughter the Pesach and circumcise his son, because their mitzvah is more stringent. Because if you don't do them, you get the prohibition of kares. You're in violation of kares. It's a positive commandment one, and you're in violation of kares. Yachol lo yitamei v'meis mitzvah. I might think even if there's an unattended dead body, you don't become tamei. So tell us for his own sister, he doesn't become tamei, but he does become tamei for a meis mitzvah. So what do we learn out from the word achos? So that if you're going to shecht the korban pesach, or if you're going to circumcise your son, and then there's a dead body that you have to attend to, even if it's a relative, no, you don't become a regular Jew. No, you put the korban pesach and the circumcision before it, because you'll miss those mitzvahs. But if it's a meis mitzvah, then even if it's only your sister, you have to go and attend to the meis mitzvah. So the Gemara tells us, even though it's a mitzvah to become tamei for your relatives, because it says for every other person it's a mitzvah, but nevertheless, the mitzvah that's passing of korban pesach and bris milah takes place over those mitzvahs. Rabbi Akiva says, so up until now, we've explained the position of Rabbi Yishmael about the tumah of the Nazir. So now we're going to say another sheet about how do we darish in these psukim. Rabbi Akiva Omer Nifashos. It says in the pasuk that the Nazir is not allowed to become tamei for a dead body. This refers to kol nafshos meis lo yavo. That refers to al nefesh meis lo yavo. What is that? Refers to ela rachokim, the non-relatives. Meis ela krovin. Those are the relatives. Avivu imo eno mitame. His father and his mother. He cannot become tamei. Aval mitame ela meis mitzvah, but he does become tamei for a meis mitzvah. This is how Rabbi Akiva darshins it. Va'achiv shemaya kohen gadol hu and vihu nazir. Let's see, he's a kohen gadol and he's a nazir. We have this person who's both a kohen gadol and a nazir. So he has these two kedushos. So he is double holy. So we say under those circumstances, this person is double holy. So how can he be a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir? Or the Kohen is prohibited to let his hair grow long, and a Nazir is obligated to grow his hair long. So the Meiri asked the question, how could he be both? How can he do it? The Kohen Gadol can't let us. A regular Kohen can't let their hair grow wild, and the Nazir has to. So the Meiri says we're talking about a person who accepted upon himself the Nazirus of 30 days, and in the middle of his Nazirus, before he came to day 30, they appointed him Kohen Gadol. So that's the what. But it's really, these are two contradictory ideas, to be a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir. So we say, still such a person has become tummy for Meis Mitzvah. So we see from Rabbi Akiva, how does he darish in the verse? Nefashos means the non-relatives. The Nazir cannot become tummy for them. The Meis, that means even the relatives. The La'achiv, that he cannot become tamei for his Avivu Imo, but he becomes tamei for a Meis Mitzvah. Number 4, for his brother, he does not become tamei, even if he is a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir. He still does not become tamei for his brother. And number 5 is La'achoso. That is to tell us that even if he's on the way to slaughter his Paschal, if he's doing his Paschal lamb, this teaches this law that a regular person puts the Paschal lamb and the bris milah before the going to the funeral of his sister. Rabbi Kiva Gzer Shava de Rabbi Manoah. How does he know this Gzer Shava of Rabbi that you could become tamei even for Mitzorah or Zav, even if you're the Kohen Gadol? Amar Kivan the Amar Mar. Am I a Kohen Gadol ben Nazir? So Rabbi Akiva would say as follows: since it was taught that if it was a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir, so he says, since it was taught that if it was a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir, he's not going to become tamei for his brother, but he can become tamei for a Meis Mitzvah. So we don't need the earlier pasuk to tell us but is mitamei Meis Mitzvah. Mali Kohen Gadol, Chudei Mali Nazir Kohen Gadol. We don't need it. So therefore, it's extra to tell us that this concept of to teach us this idea, imo by Kohen Gadol from a Nazir, to tell us this idea that he could become tamei for tzaras and zav. So Gemara challenges Rabbi Shmuel, who says Kohen Gadol v'hu Nazir minalei. How does Rabbi Shmuel know this law of the Kohen Gadol is also a Nazir, that he also cannot become, that he also has to become tamei for a Meis Mitzvah? Gemara says, Kivan de Sharach Manachad, Lav Gabe Meis Mitzvah, Mali Chad Lav Mali Trei Lav. Well, we don't need a special verse, since the Torah already allows one prohibition by the Nazir, that's the Kohen Gadol is allowed to become tamei for Meis Mitzvah. Well, what do we care if he's both a Kohen Gadol or if a Kohen Gadol and a Nazir? In both cases, you have to do it. You have to become tamei for the Meis Mitzvah. So if that's the case, according to Rabbi Shmuel, achoso lamalei, so he doesn't need the word achoso. What does he do with it? So the Gemara explains that what does Rabbi Shmuel do this achoso? So we had said that the Torah had said, since the Meis Mitzvah is already pushed off, since we already know this idea of a Meis Mitzvah, what does he do with the word achon? So, I might have thought when the Torah, so we had said that the word achos was teaching us that by a regular Jew, if it's a Meis Mitzvah, it overrides the Pesach and the Bris Milah. So you might have thought when the Torah allows a Meis Mitzvah, that's by Nazir and Kohen Tisrei Lavi, because there's a prohibition. So Milah Pesach, to kares, that they're positive commandments. Lo yitami Meis Mitzvah. I might have thought you don't become tamei for Meis Mitzvah. Kamash Malon, that even under those circumstances, you become tamei for the Meis Mitzvah, and you miss out on the Korban Pesach and the Bris Milah. Right, we'll stop here. Tonight the Daf Yomi will be at 6:30.